right, welcome to today's episode of Tomorrow's Leader, where we dive deep on all things leader related to leading yourself and leading others. I'm John Laurito, your host. I've got a great guest for you today, Bud Broomhead, who is the CEO and founder of Viakoo. Welcome to the show, Bud. Great to have you.
Thank you, John. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to start with Viakoo. You obviously founded the company and leading it to some great success. Tell us a little bit about the company. And I know there's a little story with how you came up with the name or the meaning behind it, I guess. So I'd love to hear.
Sure. Thanks for asking. Yeah, Viakoo is really two words put together. The aku part is a Greek word. It's a root word, like it's the same root as acoustic. It means to listen, but it means to listen to the point of understanding. And via is a path. So it's a path to understanding through careful listening. And that's basically the approach of our company, the way we interact with customers, the way we interact with each other, and the way that our technology works, in that it's listening very carefully to the data that it finds and then transforming that data into useful information. So data is not always information. And so we help take that data and transform it into useful, actionable information for our customers. And they're in the cybersecurity space.
So let me ask you this, and you have listeners that are in all different industries, and there's a lot of people that may not be familiar with the cybersecurity industry. So in layman's terms, what is the net result of what you do, and how does somebody end off or come out better than they came in once they've had an experience with you?
Sure. So, you could boil it down and say that the cybersecurity wars, are really exchanges of attackers and defenders. And we're the defenders. We have technology to help people defend their, they call the attack surface, or the technology that a bad actor would try to hack into, to use a layman term, to do a ransomware attack or some other, steal data or whatever they're going to do. And so we provide capabilities, tools for them to optimize their defenses. That's what we do. We're a defensive technology.
So this is a major issue for companies, I know, because obviously they've got very sensitive and high quantity amounts of very sensitive data. And you hear companies that have security breaches all the time and the crazy ripple effect that has. How about the everyday individual? I mean, is it more of an issue for, obviously it's more of an issue in terms of the size of the problem for a company, but
right.
Are these hackers going more so at companies or more so at individuals?
Well, the area that we specialize in is for companies. That's really what our particular focus is on, helping companies defend their attack surfaces, basically. And that falls into two basic categories. There's IT infrastructure, all the computers and stuff that IT puts in. And then there are the business units, the lines of business, the departments that will put in an application to solve a specific business problem. And it will leverage devices like card readers, badge readers, to allow people access into buildings, or lighting technology to control lighting for energy management in buildings and things like that. And those fall into the category of what they call Internet of Things, or IoT. So you have IT and you have IoT, and we specialize in the IoT piece. So yeah, there are people that break into corporations through IT equipment or through IoT equipment and applications, and we focus on the IoT piece.
Got it. Okay. So I want to shift a little bit. You and I were chatting a little bit earlier about some of the challenges that leaders have nowadays, especially with the new environment that we're in and being virtual. When you have an organization that's spread out so much, and as you called it, which I think is great, distributed virtualized organization, what are the things that leaders need to do? I mean, how do you keep an organization like that running the right way and tight and cohesive, and the right culture and everything? How do you master that?
Well, the way we're dealing with it is it's a topic of discussion in management. I mean, we talk about it all the time. What are the techniques, whether they're lunch meetings where we get DoorDash for everybody, or there are various applications, companies that offer services like that you can take advantage of. And we did a Halloween thing where we sent out Halloween bags with goodies in them in advance, and we all opened them at the same time on a teleconference. So there are, it sounds silly, but you have to have an opportunity for people to be seen and see each other, and that's really important. And video, of course, is a huge tool to get that done. And then there are other tools, communication tools, like in Teams or Slack or some of these other channels that you can be on. Group collaboration tools is another way. Mm-hmm. And it's all about sharing a common experience. Mm-hmm. So even though, opening a bag of Halloween candy, isn't a big deal, it's a shared experience. We all did it. Yeah. And we all did it at the same time. So wherever we can create opportunities like that, where there's some experience to have that we can all do it together, rather than, in addition to just sitting in a meeting and having a meeting together, that is a common experience, but something that we can add to it is an important dimension. Yeah. And I think it's important also to recognize that these aren't just remote. It's not just a remote problem. It's a distributed problem, because remote is when you have a whole bunch of people in one location. They're remote from maybe headquarters, but that isn't the problem. The problem is they're all distributed. And so they're not seeing each other unless you provide that connective tissue through some shared experience. They don't see each other at all. So making that a priority among management teams, talking about it, getting them to innovate about how to do that with their different departments is an important part of it.
It almost takes a different level of thinking from a leader standpoint, because I remember it's almost the difference. There was some almost, I don't know what the word, maybe unintended leadership or unplanned leadership moments that always existed when I was running organizations that were everybody housed. We'd do a physical meeting. I could do things even after a meeting when we had the whole team together, a whole group together. I could have a little bit of the aftermath discussions. Pull some people into the office, say, hey, what'd you get from that? What was the message you really took? Was this clear? You could almost get a little bit of that. Now everything is very deliberate. A leader's efforts to really take the pulse of their organization and understand how people are thinking, it's really got to be that leader reaching out and pulling people together and building that culture so people know they have to. Otherwise, there's sometimes you almost forget. A week might go by and you might not have an interaction with somebody you might have had an interaction with every single day, or would normally.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. One of the things that we've done, the way we do development, a certain methodology of development, there's a daily meeting among engineers. It's short. They call it a stand-up. They're literally standing up, letting everybody know what their status is, kind of thing. And what I recognized was that, hey, engineering's seeing each other every day. We need to do this for the other departments. So I set up a Friday morning meeting with the other departments. And so they have a place to go and see each other at least once a week. Now, we see each other on teleconferencing all the time, but as a team, they get together once a week. And it was kind of funny how it started. It started with using a virtual background. Everybody's got these virtual backgrounds that they run. And there was one of a beach scene and a crashing wave, comes standard with a lot of these, one of the standard virtual backgrounds. And during one of these meetings, I had up a beach scene with the crashing wave, and I thought, I'll put on a Hawaiian shirt. So I put on a Hawaiian shirt, and that just sort of, the notion that it was sort of a little bit of a bit, a dramatic bit, or some kind of little presentation, a little skit, kind of has grown. And now I spend the first 10 minutes of those Friday morning meetings doing something off the wall. I mean, we've done everything from Groundhog Day to Roasted Chestnut Day to, all of the holidays you can imagine, any number of topics, astronomic events or whatever it might be. Just 10 minutes of it. It's entertaining. It's maybe educational, maybe it's just funny or whatever. And then I show up with a virtual background and a funny hat or whatever to kind of cap it off. And we do this every week. And it's just been, it just provides that shared experience for everybody. And then, they get a little kick out of it. It breaks the ice. And then we have sort of a mini town hall, if you will, among all these departments. It's not a forecasting meeting or anything. It's let's just chat, what's going on? What about this account? What about this show that we all went to, or so-and-so just published a white paper, or whatever they want to talk about, kind of open. So, and it provides a way for them to share an experience and interact with each other. Super important.
That's amazing. I feel I'm getting a sense from you telling me that of what your culture is like, which is really unique. That's not like most companies out there. I appreciate that and I respect that, because there's not enough leaders that really know the value of what sometimes may be little things that make a really big difference in terms of how people feel about the organization, how they feel connected or more connected to the people in the organization. It sounds like you consciously focus on that. That's not by
Yeah, but I mean, you make a really good point, which is it's the little things, right? I hadn't thought of it in that way. They are little things, It doesn't take that much to help the organization feel like they're a cohesive unit. It used to be that it was only the salespeople who were out at the end of the vine and had to phone in, or they got things in the mail or whatever. Now everybody's there, right? So you have to make the effort to, I always just have this rule, no matter what I was doing, I would take a call from a salesperson, because I always imagine a salesperson, freezing to death in a phone booth. This is really dating myself, but in a phone booth in the middle of Nebraska, wanting to get a piece of information from headquarters. So, they're on the end of the vine, right? So now we're all sort of in that situation, and we're able to leverage technology and each other to sort of, replace that and make sure that it's there and it's alive. And so, we do that. The other thing that we do is we're a security first company. We're in the business. So every meeting that we have, executive staff or any other, we always start with security first. We find out about what the latest is happening, whatever topic we're talking about, what are the security aspects. So it's not tacked on at the end of the meeting when we have 5 minutes left and we race through it. We have a chief information security officer, and we make sure that whatever topic it is, if it's staying current with training or the development of some new tool we're going to use or whatever, but security is first in every meeting. That's how we start, is with meeting, other than my Friday morning meetings that start with a bit. But it's always the security first thing, which is, a way to impart that into the culture. And you have to be, as you pointed out, it has to be a conscious effort. And that's really the key that picks the lock for the management team, is you have to make an effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can tell people are very important to you, and that's, again, and not only an important trait, but it's also somewhat a rare trait with a larger organization. When you get a million different things going on, you don't realize and you forget how important, obviously, the people of your organization are. So, I'd love to talk to you I've got a lot of other questions, but I know we're at the end of our time. But if people want to find out more about either yourself or Viakoo, how do they do that? What's the best place for them to go?
So probably just viakoo.com is really the best place to go. We have, lots of access to blogs and, white papers and interviews and other things that are there that, short videos. They're good sources of information.
Great. And we'll put all that in the show notes so everybody can get a hold of that. And obviously, I'm sure they will. So it has been great to have you on, Bud. This has been informative and also a lot of fun. I've enjoyed our conversation.
Great. So well, likewise, John. Thanks for the invitation. Yeah. I very much appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely. We appreciate all you tuning in. Of course, like, subscribe, share. And as always, I appreciate your thoughts and ideas on great future guests as well as content. And appreciate you spending time with us today. Go down below, give a 5-star review, and we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.